The intake door is sealed behind you. Indicator lamps rest in a low row. Coiled fiber lines lie quiet in their trays. Nothing is about to shift. You don't need to focus. The words can stay in the background, like distant surf held by rock. A narrow corridor runs past locked cabinets. Labels remain clear on each door. No latch clicks. In the main room, a splice table sits under a hooded lamp. Its light stays steady. No tool is lifted. A wall panel shows link stable. Green stays on. No warning color appears. Along the racks, patch cords follow neat arcs. Clips keep their spacing. No connector loosens. A cooling fan holds a soft, even tone. It does not rise. It does not fade. Behind a glass window, the cable vault drops into darkness. A ladder descends to a sealed hatch ring. Rungs remain dry. A pressure gauge near the ring holds its needle. It does not climb. It does not drop. On the desk, a log sheet rests under a clear cover. The last entry is dated. No new line is written. A pen remains clipped to the board. The clip stays tight. Nothing moves it. On a side shelf, sealed splice sleeves rest in a plastic box. The lid stays snapped. No piece slides free. A tiny microscope cover remains down. The hinge stays quiet. The glass stays clear. An OTDR screen glows in a small rectangle. A trace line sits smooth and flat. No peak rises. A cursor marker remains fixed on the same distance. Digits hold steady. No banner appears. Under the floor, a cable trench runs toward the cliffside. Cover plates sit flush at the seams. Screws remain seated. A thin strip of reflective tape marks the edge. It stays bright under the lamp. It does not flicker. In the corner bay, a UPS cabinet holds a steady green. A second lamp remains off. No tone sounds. Heat from the cabinet is faint and controlled. A vent fan keeps it even. Nothing surges. Near the door, a rack of access badges hangs behind glass. Names are printed in small type. No badge is missing. A sign reads, "No after-hours entry." Letters remain sharp. No tape edge lifts. Beyond the glass vault window, the ladder stays unused. The hatch wheel remains locked in its notch. A seal tag hangs flat against the rim. No water sound rises from below. Only the low station hum remains. Outside, the ocean continues without being seen. Inside, the walls keep that motion out. The room feels held by concrete and steel. A soft click comes once from a relay board. Then silence returns between fan cycles. Along the fiber trays, colored flags mark each route. lacquer strip sits on the tray edge. Corners stay flat. No peel begins. At the splice table, a pair of gloves rests beside the mat. Fingers point inward. They do not move. A roll of lint-free wipes remains sealed. The seal stays unbroken. No sheet is pulled. A narrow cabinet labeled desiccant remains shut. Its latch stays centered. No moisture line forms on the door. Beside it, a hygrometer display holds the same number. It does not climb. It does not drop. Farther back, a generator test switch remains covered. The cover stays down. No test is running. A fuel gauge needle holds its mark behind glass. No drift appears. The case remains dry. In a hallway, a floor light traces the wall base. It makes the path readable without waking it. The beam is low and steady. No footstep enters the corridor. No shadow crosses the doorway. A muted vibration passes once through the rack frame. Not sharp, not repeated. The cooling tone stays level. The link panel stays green. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The cable station holds its night state beneath the cliffs, quiet and unchanged, while the sea stays outside and the lights stay low. A thin sheet of paper rests under a clear weight on the desk. It lists morning checks in plain lines. Inspect seals. Verify trace. Log temps. No marker is lifted. No line is added. At the vault window, faint salt haze rests on the outer glass. It does not spread. It does not clear. The ladder remains dry. The hatch stays sealed. The tag remains flat. A small camera dome watches the splice table. Its indicator stays faint. It does not rotate. A speaker grill above it stays silent. No test tone plays. No voice arrives. On the far rack, one blue pulse repeats at a calm interval. It does not speed up. It does not slow. The rest of the indicators remain steady green. No red appears. Air continues through the vents. Light continues over the table. And the station keeps its quiet pattern, steady and complete, until the first key turns in the morning. Outside the cliffs, waves fold into darkness and release again. Inside the room, nothing responds. The consoles remain calm. The fan tone remains even. A small bracket holds a spare patch cord. Its cap stays on. The cord stays still. Everything stays exactly where it was. Now, the link panel remains stable. No reconnect begins. No alert banner appears. The room stays level. At the splice table, the hooded lamp keeps its small pool of light. Tools remain in their foam slots. Nothing is lifted. A fiber tray label reads South Run. Letters remain clear, no corner peels. In the vault window, the hatch ring remains dark. The seal tag stays flat. No latch shifts. A faint pressure sound sits behind the wall. It does not change. It stays contained. Along the cable trench, cover plates remain flush. Reflective tape keeps its thin edge. No scuff mark crosses it. A cooling vent releases a slow line of air. It stays even. It stays quiet. In the UPS cabinet, the green lamp remains on. The second lamp remains off. No tone sounds. Battery bars hold their same level. No bar drops. No bar rises. A small relay confirms the recorder once. One click. Then the fan tone returns. The trace line on the OTDR remains smooth. No spike appears. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The station continues its night watch beneath the cliffs, steady and unchanged, while surf stays outside the walls. A checklist page remains under its clear weight. Inspect seals, verify trace, log temps. No marker is lifted, no line is added. At the badge rack, names remain printed in small type. All hooks remain filled. No badge is missing. The No After Hours entry sign remains clear. Nothing touches the glass. A cable tag near the rack reads Node 12. The tag stays aligned. No tie loosens. A spare connector cap remains seated. No dust reaches the pin. In the corridor, the floor light keeps its thin line. No shadow crosses it. The passage remains empty. The door remains closed behind you. The intake lock stays firm. Outside, a wave hits the cliff face once. The sound is distant and low. Then it fades. Inside, the rack frame does not tremble. The lights do not change. A blue pulse repeats on the far module. Measured, unhurried. It returns to green without fuss. The pattern stays calm. The camera dome keeps its faint indicator. It does not rotate. Nothing triggers it. The speaker grill remains silent. No test tone plays. Air continues through the vents. The room remains cool and dry, and the quiet holds its shape. Near the generator switch, the cover remains down. A tag reads, "Do not test during stable link." The tag stays flat. Fuel gauge glass remains clear. The needle holds steady. No drift appears. At the desiccant cabinet, the latch stays centered. No packet is removed. No seal is broken. The hygrometer number remains unchanged. It does not climb. It does not drop. A narrow shelf holds spare splice sleeves in a labeled box. The lid stays snapped. The box does not slide. Beside it, a roll of tape rests in its ring. The loose end stays tucked. Nothing unravels. At the vault window, salt haze holds faintly on the outside pane. It catches light once, then dulls again. The latter remains unused. A small warning plate reads, "Pressurized access." Letters remain sharp. No screw turns. Along the racks, airflow stays even. The fan tone remains low. It never surges. A relay click comes from the power board. One click, then stillness again. On the desk, the clipped pen remains where it was. No hand reaches in. A wiring diagram rests under clear cover. Outside the walls, surf continues to fold and release. Inside, the station remains still. The indicators keep their calm pattern. No change arrives.